Lately, I get a lot of emails from companies wanting to send me product to do review videos about, and most of them I wouldn't buy or use myself, so I won't do a review on. But last week I was contacted by Anna Lou. She's in charge of marketing of this Deenkee company, and she offered to send me a couple of items to review and just to go through and look at and try to use. So. There's definitely this vacuum is one of them, and it's something that my wife had been talking about. Actually, a little Dyson one we saw at Costco, but that was like $500. So that was out of the question because it was actually more than our central vacuum had originally cost us. But lately she's been having trouble with the weight of the hose and the attachments and stuff on the central vacuum. So we were looking for something a little bit easier for quick cleanups and stuff like that. And I was offered this little battery operated portable vacuum to try. And here it is. This is unboxing it. It was really packed well. It was shipped in triple cardboard boxes, actually, so it wouldn't get damaged. It did a great job of that. And so far, all the parts really look well made. And there's an extra brush it comes with. I still haven't tried that one yet. But, it comes with the power head there. And then it has this here is a wall mounting bracket that allows you to mount it on the wall and charge it when you hang it on the bracket, which is a really neat feature. That's upside down there, but I thought that I'd really like to give this a try. Now this unit was actually provided to me at no cost to me, so I have to put that disclaimer in here. But there's a nice little crevice tool that has a brush that slides down it and stuff, and so far everything seems to be fairly well made. Here's the little AC adapter that actually charges it up. Use that for the wall charger. And so there's everything that comes in the box, all the mechanical parts, and then there was just another little booklet in there with the instructions and a thank you and the warranty information. Now, it says in the book there that it's warranted for 1 year, but then when I read the little other paperwork, it said the battery was warranted for 6 months, so I'm not quite sure about the battery end of it. But I figured I'd charge it up before starting with it. You can see the little lights flash. And one thing that I saw was there's a UL label on the adapter there, which is a really good thing. You don't find that on a lot of products from China. So now I'm going to just mount, while that's charging, I'm going to mount the bracket in the laundry room. And I like these little drywall screw-in things that I use. I tossed the hardware that they sent with it because they were just those little slide-in lags. And I have a bunch of little screw-in ones that really hold good. So I'm just going to hang the bracket on the wall here. So it'll be in a convenient place to grab. And there's 3 screws that mount it. And it's just a matter of getting the holes in the right place and just kind of try to get it leveled up and a little bit of clearance in the screw hole so I can just rock it to get it real nice and level there. And then just tighten everything down. And it was pretty amazing to get this because we had been looking, for an alternative for her to use for cleaning up small messes. And that little power adapter goes in there and twists, so when you lock the handle in place, it charges. A little strain relief on there. Someday I may run an outlet right up next to this, but for now I'm just gonna plug it in the outlet on the wall, and there you can see the attachment snap on there, and this pops up in place there and charges. And then I just hung a couple of little coat hooks right above it for the power head there. You're supposed to hang it with the power head touching the ground, but I thought this would be better for us. So the first thing I did is once it was charged up, we have this rug right inside the door. It's got quite a bit of relief to it, and it's really nasty all the time. It picks up all the dirt from the gardening and the dog hair and everything else. So I figured it was going to be the best test of it. You can see it does a pretty good job. It really works good on the ceramic, and there's what it picked up in a matter of less than a minute, I think. There. Now I'm just going to kind of take this apart because I wanted to show you how easy it comes apart. But normally you just pop that little bottom door open to empty it out. But this really did pick up an amazing amount of dirt. And there's, there's what it got. You can see all the little straw and the dog hair and everything else, and actually the dirt that it pulled out. So it's pretty amazing. It doesn't really have a tremendous amount of suction. Now it's got 200 watt motor in it, and most vacuums are around 1500 watts. So that's really pretty amazed me what it did for a 200 watt motor. I think that little brush there getting the dirt out really helped, but you can see some of the deeper dirt is still in there, but it really did do a good job and did a really great job on everything else. I figured I'd just pull this apart and show you, and there's the battery pack. That's the only part that scares me a little bit, is I don't know if replacements are available for long-term use of this, but I'm sure they will be. And then there's this steel filter that goes in here. It's kind of like a little cyclone filter. And then there's a little dust filter there. And there's a washable foam filter that goes in first. Then the dust filter goes in. And then the lid snaps on there and just locks in place. And everything is very easy to take apart and clean and, maintain. So it really does, everything does have an excellent fit and finish. I will say that much. And there it is. You just pop that in there and just kind of lock it all together. And then it just snaps right onto the power handle there. And this does have a 2-speed motor on it. Now, for all the use that I did, I wound up using the higher speed. The lower speed didn't really seem to have quite enough suction. But there's what you normally do to dump it, is just push that, open it up, and just shake it in the trash. So now we have this 8x10 wool rug in our great room there, and you can see I'm going over this with it, and really it does work great. It just kind of slides along, and you can see it looks like it's really starting to change the color of the rug a little bit there and get it clean. And it takes a little bit of getting used to get it to swivel exactly like you want on the rug, because it's a power head. You can see there's a power head spinning there. Yeah, I stopped it there, and there's also a headlight on it if you want to get down under things. You can get quite flat on it. You can see how low that'll go and swivel and stuff. So I just took a couple minutes and I did this entire rug. I did a good job, went over it really good with this. And there's what I wound up with now. My wife didn't want me to show you this because she'd been vacuuming in it all the time, but somehow looks like this thing gets all the dog hair out. Now, she had to stop using the power head on our other central vacuum because it was a little bit too heavy and sticky for her to use anymore. So this really, this really is stuff that was down in the rug, I guess, and it's mostly dog hair, it looks like. So this vacuum really, it's pretty amazing. It really doesn't have a tremendous amount of suction, but it really does do a good job at, picking stuff out of the rug like that. Pretty amazing. And, there you see that all came out of the one rug there. So, I'm pretty amazed. And there's that little filter. I just thought I'd shake some of that out. You can see that's got some dust in it now. And there's that washable filter, which I just got all the dust in the air. So now this is one of the main messes that I make. I spill a lot of potting soil around when I'm, transplanting and stuff like that. I thought I'd give this a go, and it turned out that any of the finer potting soil that was laying on the floor really got picked up good and quick with it. But any of the bigger chunks of it, actually there's not enough clearance between the floor and the power head. They tried to do that, I think, to maintain the suction on it. Actually got pushed around by the power head a little bit. So I don't think this would be, using this head would be a good thing for like picking up a box of cereal or anything like that, because it kind of has, any of the thin dog hair and dust like that comes right up. But you can see there's a couple pieces left there, and that's where this little brush really comes in. You can just go back and just grab it with that little handheld brush, and it did do a good job. Got it all up, and it's just a matter of just flipping that thing open to dump it. So it's gonna be handy for those kind of messes also. And here we are, some of the wooden hallways in it. That's where the dog hair really collects along the edges and stuff like that, and the dust and everything. And this here really is a quick way to get all that up, I'm finding out. And in the end, I did use it for about 15 minutes total on the high speed, and it still had some power left, but I think it was starting to get a little bit, slow down at the end. So looks like you should get 15 minutes on the high speed, and I don't know how long it would last on the low speed, but it does, definitely really do a great job at getting up loose stuff on the floor. And then you got that little brush attachment you can stick on there and get in all the corners and stuff good. So, and it's pretty amazing because it's just not a lot of suction, but it does a good job. And then I went hunting for some dust in the house, and I found a little bit in the air conditioning return grill up there. I was able to clean that all right out with it. And a little bit more there, and then there was some dust around the through the wall fan I got in there. And there's a stink bug off to the left there, if you see, just crawling up on the corner right there. And that thing sucked it right up. We've seen a couple of those in the house lately, and this thing really going to be good, so you don't have to smash them. Just get them up and throw them in the garbage. And a little bit around the wood stove. That's been, that's all dusty from sitting. Hasn't really been cleaned up since we shut it down. And I went back and just went around the edge of that thing a little bit and did a pretty good cleanup with it. I'm just kind of trying to try it on everything. And kind of the way I feel about this is it's not a replacement for a big central vacuum unit or anything like that, because actually it plugs up. It doesn't plug up, but it fills up really quick and stuff. So if you don't mind emptying it a lot, I guess that's one thing. But the central vacuum does have more suction, and if you're going to clean up a big mess, it really does work on that. Where this one is, really nice for little messes and wooden floors and just getting the dog dust up and stuff. And here I took it out in my truck. I had some lot of dirt in the truck there, and put that little crevice brush on it and cleaned that out really nice. Picked all that up. And then once I started looking around, I found all kinds of dust buried in there. Pretty amazing what the light from the camera shows up when you put it on an angle like that. So I just spent a couple seconds in there just kind of trying to pick up most of the dust. And it really did a pretty good job. It's not like when you use a shop vac to clean it, but you might go a little slower with this, and a little bit smaller brush, but it does fit in some nice little crevices, and it's easy to use, lightweight, and it's really not that loud at all. So I'm pretty much impressed so far with it. So after about 15 minutes of playing with it, I just brought it back in, snapped it in the charging base there, and it's all charging up there now, and it'll be ready for the next use. They say it takes 5 to 6 hours to fully charge, and you can see that big 35-foot central vacuum hose. That thing is very heavy with the cover on it and stuff, and all the big bag of attachments you have to carry around, and the hose end and the beater head. So it really is going to give my wife a little bit of a break when it comes down to that too. And I'll probably grab this more often too, just to help out a little bit. So in the end, it really seems to be, everything seems to be well made, fit together nice. It's UL approved on the plug there, and it's fairly light. It's not that loud, and it looks like it's going to be a great supplement to the central vacuum system. I'll keep you updated to how it stands up over time, and I'll put a link to it down in the description below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.